Good morning, everyone. It is a good morning to make a rosemary rye porridge. And today we're going to make this with a few local additions, namely James Ranch Ricotta Cheese, which is a fresh cheese from their pasture-raised cows, and some Oxbow Farm honey. Oxbow Farm is just next to us. And as I'm by myself this week holding everything on the farm, I just need sustenance, and I'm also excited to explore some of the original ideas from this rosemary rye porridge. So we have basically a half a cup of rosemary rye porridge, Swiss Wallis rye flakes and flour blended with pumpkin seeds from Oregon, organically grown, and a little touch of rosemary, and about 2 cups of water, 1.5 to 2 cups of water. And then I have a couple of other ingredients: figs, fresh pears, and the ricotta cheese, some olive oil. And that's about it. No salt needed because we already blended it in to this mixture. And this porridge is best if you let it cook a little bit, so 15-20 minutes. So here we're going to start whisking that in. Just, like with all of these porridges, we just need to make sure the flour doesn't clump. And why is there flour in here? Well, it's the trick of making a porridge a porridge. It could certainly be flakes only, but you'd be whisking for a long time and you wouldn't really have a creamy, nice consistency of a porridge. And so pretty quickly, so that we have the figs also cooked in, we're going to add the figs now. And all of this should not cook at a high temperature, otherwise it's going to burn to the bottom of your pan, and that's not really nice. So I have cut up about 3 to 4 black mission figs, and this particular amount in this pan here is for about 2 people, or for me it's going to be my breakfast, since I've been irrigating for 2 or 3 hours already and I'm empty. So I'm going to turn this up just a notch, but not too much, and we'll let it simmer. And I'm using this beautiful clay pot from Santa Fe, and these savory porridges are then really beautiful, slowly cooked, slow food. I just turned off the heat here on my little stove top, and I'm about ready to serve myself my breakfast. So I'm just gonna bring this out. Sometimes if you end up having a little bit of burn on the bottom of the pan, you can just let it, turn it off and let it sit, and it will dissolve itself. So no big deal if you burn the pan a little bit. If you let it sit for 5 minutes or so after you've cooked it, it usually comes off. As I said, I'm going to make this portion my, farm day portion, because I still have another 5 hours to go of irrigation. And I'm irrigating actually the various grains that are going into these products. And so, it is a spiritual journey also. So is the cooking, the slow cooking of these products, particularly these porridges. And I'm going to add some of this lovely ricotta cheese. Ricotta is high in protein. It's a wonderful addition to any of these porridges and mueslis. I also like to garnish this with fresh pears. And of course, on the Mediterranean, so-called Mediterranean McElmo diet, we use California olive oil. And if you don't know, to be on the Mediterranean diet, you really need a lot of olive oil on a daily basis. And I think we do that. So more than, this was 1 tablespoon, more than that. And so this honey is just a nice addition to the top. and I'm just going to use that spoon. And to bring out some of the flavor, I also add a little cracked black pepper. I'm eating this wonderful rosemary rye porridge now, topped with James Ranch Ricotta Cheese, some pears and black mission figs. And we also drizzled a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of Oxbow Farm honey, which is local also to McElmo Canyon. And the rye is here, our Swiss Vallis rye. That we have this porridge really is quite amazing for me as a story, because I grew up on rye porridge. My mom, being from Finland, taught us a lot of things. And porridge was just a very nourishing thing to eat, not only for breakfast, but also lunch and dinners. It was providing us lots of energy, I think, and also just fiber and nutrients that were important for us young ski racers. I have two other sisters, and that's what we were eating for ski racing, and we did prevail. Usually we brought out home gold medals in all categories, and that was really significant. And today when I irrigate these fields, walking the fields and working on the land, it just reminds me of my time on Swiss glaciers, hiking up to the start, and partially I did this with the mueslis and porridges that we are making now out of our products. So it's very special, and it's definitely suited for athletes and active people and those who care for health in the fields, planetary health. When you think about cover crops, and grains are wonderful in rotations and diversified farms, as well as those who care for their microbiome and feeding the microbiome, their intestinal health, some really important food from dietary fiber and resistant starch. So this is really a powerful food, and I think since we all know about oatmeal, this is just very similar to the common and highly liked oatmeal, but it's just made with rye. And in our case, certified organic rye, and rye from Switzerland, from a region where the Matterhorn is, and where I trained as a young athlete. So it's extremely meaningful for me. PuebloSeed.com, you can get your rosemary rye porridge from us online, or also at James Ranch Market in Durango. Go there first. This is incredible.